Streaming in multiple places now, so I'm doing a live stream, but we're streaming to all the different services out there. So I hope that this stream is coming through to you and you're hearing and seeing what I'm doing and everything's all right. Well, I'm going to proceed anyway. So today, why we choose rent to rent and why rent to rent is such a hot topic at the moment. So I've put together this quick video to highlight the benefits of rent to rent. In this video, I'm going to compare it against the most traditional way of investing called buy to let and see why rent to rent is literally the hottest topic in property at the moment. Now, if you're new to my channel, like I said, I'm James Bennett, the property coach, and it's my mission to bring you up to speed on all things property investing. So please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, that probably won't appeal to you. But jump over to my YouTube channel and you can catch up with all my daily videos. So let's dive in. First of all, I'm going to give a quick introduction to rent to rent. Rent to rent is the easiest and quickest way to build and grow a successful property business. In effect, with rent to rent, you are simply renting a property from a landlord, then subletting the rooms individually to tenants on a room by room basis and collecting multiple rents from one property. Or you can rent out the property as a whole using two different methods. You've got service accommodation or you've got holiday lets. They're very similar to each other. One uses contractors, the other one's holiday makers kind of thing. So these are your options when you're doing rent to rent. Yes, I know what you're all thinking. Isn't subletting illegal? Now, I get this time and time again, every day. People are saying this to me, especially agents, estate agents who don't really know about company let agreements and things like that. They think that subletting rooms is actually illegal. Now, subletting is 100% illegal, but if it's done correctly and you've got all the right contracts in place, it is 100% totally legal. Number one, the landlord needs to know exactly what you are doing with the property. You cannot rent the property off the landlord on a short hold tenancy agreement. Like I said, you must use all the correct contracts and agreements and adhere to all the correct insurances and regulations what go along with using HMOs, company lets and service accommodation properties. So yeah, it sounds easy. Everyone thinks that they can do rent to rent, but let me stop you there for a second. You definitely need the correct training from someone who's been there and done it before. You need to get all the correct legal contracts or else you're just going to get stung down the line. I have loads of people contact me saying, yeah, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do rent to rent off my own back. But a lot of people are going to get caught out there and you're going to give the rent to rent system a bad name for itself. So make sure you get the correct training if you're thinking about doing rent to rent. And I don't mean go and attend like a property seminar and get hypnotized by a property guru, walk out the room 20 grand lighter and wake up the next day and not even understand what rent to rent is. I don't mean that type of training. I mean real good, honest training. So it shouldn't even cost you more than like £1,500 as well. And so if you do want some good, honest property coaching, we offer this service ourselves. And if you don't fancy using me, I can certainly point you in the direction of other property mentors out there what would be happy to provide you with all the training and contracts to do rent to rent correctly. So you've heard what I've got to say about rent to rent. It is a wicked strategy. It's something we do on a regular basis. It's a strategy a lot of people are really interested in, but please make sure you adhere to all the correct training and contracts and everything before you think you can jump in and just start rent to rent. It doesn't really happen like that. So I'm going to go through the benefits of rent to rent. What are the benefits of rent to rent? One massive thing is you do not need a huge deposit. So you're not having to save up 20 grand like you would with a buy-to-let property. You can literally jump into rent to rent with as little as £4,000. But however, I do recommend you have a pot of at least £5,000 before you start getting into rent to rent, because you do need contingency money in place just in case the property needs a bit more work or there's some unforeseen cost kind of thing. So in comparison, we do know that buy-to-let properties are very time consuming and also expensive. If you want to get a £100,000 house, you're going to need a pot of at least £27,500 in order to undertake one buy-to-let property. Now in comparison with rent to rent, you only need around about £5,000 per rent to rent deal what you take on. Now there's a lot of saving up involved if you want to do the buy-to-let method as well. Obviously you've got to get up to £27,000 if you want to do a regular house, and this can take years. Whereas rent to rent, you can jump in and you can literally achieve rent to rent multiple deals within a short time period, unlike buy to let properties. Another thing with buy to let properties as well, unless you've got about 5 buy to let properties, it never truly replaces the income what you're trying to leave. So if you're in a job and you're working a 9 to 5 and you're looking to leave that job, if you're doing buy to let properties, it's not going to actually provide you with enough income to go out there and leave your job. But if you're looking to do rent-to-rent HMOs, each rent-to-rent HMO what we typically take on can profit you from around about £750 per calendar month in profit. Now you only need 2 or 3 of these deals, then you've got enough money coming in monthly to actually go out there, quit your 9 to 5 job and start living the life what you actually want to live. So it's a good way to quickly build up your monthly cash flow using rent to rent. Like I say, most deals make around £750 a month in pre-tax profits. That's a lot more than you're going to make from a single buy-to-let property. I mean, most buy-to-let properties, what we do hold buy-to-let properties in our own portfolio, and they typically make us in profit round about £500 each property, with a property value of around about £120,000. So you can clearly see the benefits of rent to rent and getting into rent to rent and doing it properly. Now the good thing about rent to rent is there are instant opportunities out there that involve very little cash, and before the lockdown there was literally loads of opportunities out there, but you needed to be in the know in order to secure them. But now we've gone through these pandemics, there's quite a lot of landlords that have had properties left empty. They might have had tenants what are not paying the rent, etc. They might not have had students in the property, because a lot of HMO rent-to-rent deals we use are student properties. And obviously with the schools being shut and the education and all the whole system being on hold, there's loads of landlords out there what have got properties what are just sitting there empty. So this is where we jump in, we create a win-win situation for that landlord, and we accumulate these properties at a rapid rate. Now there's never been a better time to go out there and start rent to rent. Now with the same money that you would spend on one single buy-to-let property, you can get multiple rent to rent deals and multiply your revenue streams by 4 times the amount as if you was doing one buy-to-let property. So if you like the sound of rent to rent, we are going to put together a series of videos that's going to show you how to set up from scratch, how to run a successful property rent to rent business, how to effectively locate gold mine areas and stack up deals correctly and effectively. We're also going to show you how to effectively systemize your rent to rent business, how we make a minimum profit of £750 per calendar month in profits, and we're going to guide you through the complete strategy. So stay tuned, we're going to be dropping this soon onto our website, and we're going to be calling it the Complete Guide to Rent, the downloadable edition. So if you want to get that, head over to our website. We've got it discounted at the moment as it's a new product. It should be up and live by this afternoon. So you can jump on there and you can grab yourself the Complete Guide to Rent, the downloadable digital edition. I'm also going to be dropping daily live videos. I'm going to be coaching you through the whole rent to rent process. But if you just want everything there in one go for you to look at, so you know exactly how to do rent to rent and you can wrap your head around it, there's a downloadable edition on our website. Now, let's get back to it anyway. There's massive demand at the moment in the rental market with the need of good quality, affordable living at an all-time high. There's thousands of people out there who might have had a lesser income than they did before, and they're looking to move into these HMO properties where all the bills are included. The rooms are still needed. Property deals are still getting done. The estate agents are open for business. You can still go out there and do viewings at properties. Construction projects are still ongoing. You can still go to the builder's yard and pick up all the supplies you need to renovate properties. So don't miss this opportunity to build your very own successful business. Look, if you don't take action, somebody else will. Like I said before, we've got this downloadable edition on our site